everyone, welcome back to Homegrown Passion. I'm Katie, and this is part 3 of our hydroponic strawberry high tunnel build, and this should be the last part, so stay tuned. So we've come pretty far in our build. On this side of the high tunnel, we already have the posts cut. They're marked on the other side. We just have to go through and cut them. And we've been building the framework that's going to hold my gutter system and the strawberry buckets. I have 2 more to build. So we had to go to the lumber yard today because we ran out of 2x4, so we'll get those done really quick. And in the meantime, we've been hauling gravel. Probably got about 40 tons already placed in the high tunnel. I got another 20 tons in case I need it. Not really sure how we're going to get all the gravel over to the sides. Have one idea of using the excavator, which I really like. You know, take the bucket and put little piles everywhere, because I really don't want to have to shovel the piles over there and then rake it all out. So I know the excavator fits in here perfectly, so I think that's the way we're going to go. So these stands were really easy to build. We ended up pre-drilling all the holes, and then we used deck screws to screw everything all together, so it's going to hold up really nice. Like I said, we just have 2 more to build, and then we're ready to put them on the posts. So like I said, we pre-drilling the holes into the wood so it doesn't split, because we are using these nice big deck screws because we want to make sure this is really sturdy. So not all the tops of the posts are cut off and they're laying here on the ground. I'm going to go through with my wheelbarrow and pick them up because I don't want to waste them, and I think I'll be able to use them for my raised flower bed I'm going to put in this year. Here we're using the electric chainsaw to trim down the posts so we can install the rail system. Now that the posts are trimmed off, it's really easy to install the framework, and once it's level, we're using these big screws to install it permanently. Okay, I almost have all the gravel raked out. There's quite a few clumps of mud that got picked up by the machinery as we were going in and out, using the excavator to smooth out the gravel and using the tank to dump it. So once they dry up, I'll probably go around with the bucket and pick them all up. We do have all the framework installed, which is really a big project that we got done. So the next thing I need to do now is go get the rails, put them up, and we're going to install them with pipe clamps. So luckily these rails are nice and light. They're the top rails for a chain link fence. Got them at one of the box stores. And so they have a swag end, which is smaller, so it fits nicely into the other end of the pole. They just slide together, nice and easy. And these poles did not get as clean as I had hoped with the rain, so I'm definitely going to have to get a rag with some disinfectant and get all the stains off of them. So this is how the rail system is going to look. So let's go down and I'll show you how the buckets are going to hang. So this is how the buckets are going to look once they're hanging. Looks kind of cool. It's going to be much sturdier than what we had before. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do the buckets, since I have half are black and half are white. And over the years of growing, I didn't see any difference between a black bucket and a white bucket. So I think I may do one row black, one row white, next row black, next one white, just kind of make it look kind of cool in here. Well, I have all 200 buckets clean. After the first batch, I decided to move my trough inside the high tunnel because it was getting a little cold and the water was cold, and that worked out really good. But now that I'm all done, I have all this dirty water. I don't want to open up the bottom drain and have all this water flood out the high tunnel. So I'm going to go ahead and take my 5-gallon buckets. Can't fill them up all the way to the top, but just kind of bucket out the water and dump it outside so I don't make a big mess. Well, this reminds me of the old days when I used to board my horse and I cleaned the stalls and watered the horses so I'd get a discount. We're using the old pipe clamps to attach the rail system. Got one more screw to do on this row and then I'm done with it and move on to the next one. Let's get this guy in. We always have to do everything the fun way. We had a construction business years ago and we kept the old concrete mixer. This thing's portable. It's supposed to pull it behind a dump truck, but I don't know if I'd put it on the road now. It's probably from the 1980s, but it still works. It's got an electric motor. And so we're dumping half a bag of peat into the mixer and then 1 full bag of the 4 cubic feet of the perlite. And we're coming up with a really nice mix for my strawberries because I need something in the growing medium to hold the moisture because the strawberries are only watered 4 times a day. So if I did 100% perlite, they dry out in between and I wouldn't have good strawberries. And I've done this for the past 6 years and it works out really well. Since the bags of peat, they're all compressed, are super heavy that the 2 of us can't even pick it up to put it on top of the mixer as you would a concrete bag. So we have another mud box behind it where we broke the peat into it. And so just manually shoveling it in. Like I said, a half a bag of peat to 1 full bag of perlite. And then once we get all that in there, we turn the electric motor on and the paddles mix it up for me. Well, the mud box is working really well to stage everything to go into the mixer. This bag of perlite must have had a hole in it, so it got wet from the rain, and it was way too heavy, again, to lift up. So I'm just kind of shoveling it in. This works out really good. Now we're going to pick up the mud box with the skid steer and put it into the high tunnel so I can start filling up the strawberry beetle buckets. Found the perfect shovel to fill up the beetle buckets. Just take a scoop, stick it in the middle, dump it in, you don't waste any. Mix turned out really nice and light and fluffy from the way the peat was compacted. I was a little worried about that. The cement mixer did a really good job. The first time I've ever used it to mix up my growing medium. I think last year or the year before, somebody made a comment about how they used the cement mixer and it made it so much easier to mix up your medium. So I figured, hey, what the heck? And that's why I like when you guys always leave me comments and suggestions, because you guys have some really good ideas, and I appreciate that. So I'm anxious to see how many buckets I get filled up with the 1 bag of peat and or a half bag of peat and 1 bag of perlite. So today I got all the strawberry beetle buckets filled with the growing medium and in place, and I did my alternating between black, white, and it looks really cool here in the high tunnel. So I still have a lot more stuff to do. I still have to plant my strawberries, get my nutrient lines in place because we're going to change that up. We're going to put our gutter system underneath. We have a screen we're going to put around the whole high tunnel, which I'm so excited about. We've got to get our dosatron system, and I'm really excited about showing you guys everything because we've got a lot going on this spring, and I'm going to share it with you guys like I always do. And like always, please leave me any questions, comments, and suggestions down below, and we'll see you guys next video.